Hello everyone, Venom here, and this is a video for new players and things you might have missed or maybe you didn't know in Last Epoch. I have a list of 10 things, and the first thing I would want to say for new players is that you can choose your mastery, but you can never change it afterwards. So for example, if you start as a rogue, you will be able to choose between a blade dancer, falconer, marksman, and after you choose one of them, you won't be able to change it later in the game. So when you want to start a character, be sure you know what you want to choose, because you won't be able to change it. So that would be the first thing, and I think it's very important to know. In other games you can change it, but in Last Epoch you cannot. Okay, moving to the second thing. The second thing I think most of the players don't know is that you have to do the campaign till a certain point, but when you reach the monoliths or the level you are able to do monoliths, you can start doing monoliths, and monoliths is the end game of Last Epoch. You don't need to finish the campaign. For example, if you struggle killing Lagon, that is a hard boss in the campaign, and you will find it here in the Isle of Wrath. No, sorry, let me show you. I cannot remember, but maybe it doesn't show because it's here in the Isle of Storms. So you don't have to kill him to go to the end game. You can go farm the monoliths a little bit, and after you are capped at resistances and have a higher level, you can go back and kill him. So that is really nice to know. That being said, I'll move to the third point. You can skip the campaign, but if you want to be able to trade or to have access to the factions, you will have to kill Lagon and do the quests in chapter 9. So you will find the quest here in Divine Area at Majelka's upper district. Here you'll have a quest, and you will choose between the observatory and the bazaar, and that's how you will be able to choose factions and trade. Depending on what you choose, Circle of Fortune is like a buff that gives you more chances to find better gear, and also you have some prophecies to find specific gear. And the bazaar, it's where you can trade items with other players. Okay, moving to the fourth thing, regarding the trading. You can gift some players, but only players you play with. So here, as you can see, I played with a player, and as you play, you'll gather some things, and then you can trade with that player, but it will consume these things, and then when you have 0, you won't be able to trade any more items. you cannot trade gold, you can only trade items. So if you want to trade with your friends, you have to play with them to go into the maps, to monoliths or other dungeons with them, and as you progress you'll collect these two things that will let you trade with them. Okay, so the fifth thing would be the button for sorting items. That is really nice that they added. Even in the inventory, in the stash, you have this button. If you click on it, it will arrange your items, and this is a cool feature you can use not to lose time arranging your items even in the inventory. And another button, this is a bonus, another button, but I guess you already know about transferring materials. When you find materials, they'll be here, and then you click on transfer materials and it will transfer them to a different stash that you cannot see. It's this one, but you can see it on, if you click on crafting materials, you'll see all the materials that you have available. Moving on to the sixth thing that I wanted to share with you and let you know how you can get the Glyph of Insight. The Glyph of Insight will let you add an experimental affix to the item. So the experimental items have this blue affix that you can seal it, and you can, let me show you if I have an item here. As you can see, I have 5 affixes. This one is sealed. The sealed affix is the one with the haste. So basically what that glyph does is you take an item. Let me take an item. I will need some boots, or maybe let's take, no, this one already has it. Let's take these boots for example. You go to the forge and you choose this glyph, and you can add the item. As you can see, it only works on gloves, boots and belts, and does not work if the item has an experimental affix. So here I cannot add it because I have to remove one first, and then you can add it and seal it away. But this is how it works, and how you will get it is if you shatter items with experimental affix. So if I shatter this item, I have a chance to get that Glyph of Insight. So when you get items with experimental affixes that you don't want to use, you can shatter them and get a chance to get this glyph. Okay, another thing very important to know is that the exalted items have more forging potential than the others. For example, this is a rare. These are rare boots. They have 35 forging potential, and usually the exalted items have a lot more. This one has the same amount, but as you can see, this one has 41, this one has only 32. They don't have always more forging potential, but those items have a bigger chance to have more forging potential. As you can see, you can go up to 40 and even 50. Let me see if I find one. 46. Look, this one has 54 forging potential. So it's always better to craft on exalted items, even if they don't have the stats that you really need. You can change them, you have more forging potential. But like I said, it all depends on the item and how lucky you are with the drop. Okay, so now moving to another thing that players might not know is that ailments like bleed, poison, ignite, they do some damage they don't do damage based on the damage dealt. So they have a fixed damage that can be scaled, for example, with physical damage over time, or physical damage for bleed, poison damage. If you go to the guide and want to check bleed, for example, you will see that by default each stack deals 53 damage over a 3-second duration. So this means that it doesn't matter how much damage you deal with your skills, it will always deal a lot more. It will always deal that amount of damage. By default, for example, for poison, it deals 28 damage over 3 seconds and subtracts 5% from the target's poison res. So this is really nice to know when you want to build your character. If you want to play something with bleed, you can scale it with damage over time, but also with physical damage, and it doesn't really matter how much damage you do. So if you want to stack bleed, you'll better get attack speed instead of damage, because the other damage doesn't really matter. If you play with poison, again, you can use poison damage, and it doesn't matter how much damage you do with your weapon. So that's basically it with the ailments in Last Epoch. Moving on to the end game. As you know, you have to do monoliths. Monoliths basically start, I guess, from level 55. When you go to a monolith, for example, let me show you. Doesn't want to teleport. It works now. So when you start, the area will be level 55 or 60 or 65, depending on what monolith you're in. But once you start playing, you can advance, and you can get corruption on the monoliths. The corruption will give you more item rarity and experience, but also will empower the monsters. So that will be an empowered monolith. As you can see, when I click here, I can choose between normal, that it's level 58, that has maximum corruption of 50, or I can choose the empowered, that the area level is 100 and it has minimum corruption of 100 but no maximum. So from here on you can build your corruption up to 200, 300, depending on how much you can handle. So I wanted to show you how you can get to the empowered level. For example, this one, I didn't do anything here, it has 100 corruption. So basically what you have to do to get to the empowered monoliths is you have to do the last 3 monoliths. So you can start from here and go this way like this, or maybe you want to go to the other way. It doesn't matter. All it matters is that you do the last 3 monoliths, the Spirits of Fire, the Last Ruin, and the Age of Winter. And what you have to do is complete the quests you have here, and then you complete the monolith. After you complete all the quests, for example, I'm here, you'll have to go over here. You'll have to go by foot, you cannot teleport. So you'll go over here, and here you can click on it and it will empower your monoliths. And then you can choose, like I did, you can choose what monolith you want to play, a normal one or an empowered one. I don't really recommend doing normal because you don't get very good rewards, you don't get so much experience, so you should always go for the empowered, farm as fast as possible to get to empowered monoliths. And the last thing, also regarding to the monoliths, the 10th thing I want you to know is that, as you can see, you start, and once you finish the quest in one monolith, you kill the boss, you will get a blessing like this one. This one gives me 6 increased experience, or like this one, Vision of the Aurora, that gives me increased amulet drop. But you can get better than this. These are normal blessings, but when you finish an empowered monolith, when you kill the boss on an empowered monolith, you will be able to choose between grand blessings. So the grand blessings are better than the normal blessings. Basically you can choose the same things, but you will get much more effectiveness. So as you can see, for the Grand Shadow of Eclipse, I can get between 61 and 100 dodge rating. For a normal blessing, you get less than 61. I don't know if I can still show you. Unfortunately not, because I already found the grand one, the grand blessing. So you have to find them. You will have to kill the boss in the empowered or the normal, but for the grand blessings on the empowered, and you will get to choose between 4 blessings. If you will get to corruption 200 and kill the boss, you will be able to choose a grand blessing, but you'll have 5 of them and you can choose between them. So these are the things that I think are really important. You should know. Maybe you missed them, or maybe you are just starting, and I think it's good to know them, because it will really help you build your character and progress in the game. For more videos, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.